Building the $27 billion Yamal liquefied natural gas project meant shipping more than 5 Minnesota tons of materials to construct a forest of concrete and steel 600 kilometers north of the Arctic Circle, where temperatures can drop to minus 50 degrees Celsius and the sun disappears for 2 months straight. Yet those challenges weren't as tough as the U.S. sanctions imposed in 2014, forcing a complete refinancing just as construction was about to start. Jacques de Boisseson, head of the Moscow office of French energy giant Total, which has a 20% stake in Yamal LNG, said there were various moments when he thought the project may never happen. "We were too much advanced to stop. We were in a deadlock, we had to go ahead and we didn't know how," de Boisseson said last month. 3 years later, the first shipment of Yamal LNG's gas represents a gargantuan effort from the Russian establishment to demonstrate that one of President Vladimir Putin's flagship projects would not be derailed by sanctions. The launch of the project in the face of sanctions has helped spur Moscow's political pivot to China, which provided much of the financing. Novatek, which controls Yamal LNG, is already talking about its next LNG project. "We had a dream," Mark Guyot, deputy chief executive officer of Novatek, said on last month. "Now we have realized that dream." For Yamal LNG, the timing of the U.S. sanctions against Russian shareholders in the project in 2014 couldn't have been worse. It was just embarking on one of Russia's largest ever international financing packages, and planning to attract significant investment from Western banks. In a further obstacle, the sanctions prevented Novatek's Guyot from working on the financing deal as he's a U.S. citizen. "For Novatek, it's a triumph over adversity," said James Henderson, director of natural gas at the Oxford Institute for Energy Studies. "Russians have got it running, and that is a bit of a triumph for them that underlines again that sanctions struggle to be effective." Yamal's partners hoped that non-U.S. banks and companies would step into the breach and provide the necessary financial support. But talks dragged on through 2014 and 2015 without a deal, as few were willing to risk the wrath of the U.S. government by helping to fund the project, and a tumble in oil prices changed the economic calculus. China was the only hope remaining besides Russia's state banks. But those negotiations were just as tortuous. Novatek several times made predictions about when a deal would be signed, only to see the self-imposed deadlines pass without a result. "Quite frankly, we are beginning to lose our patience with the excessive comments and a myopic focus on the single point," Guyot told analysts in October 2015, conceding that the process had been painstakingly slow. Russia was forced to backstop the project, providing 150 billion rubles ($2.5 billion) of funding from the National Welfare Fund, a rainy day reserve built up to stabilize retirement provisions, in a high-stakes show of support. Finally, in April 2016, 2 Chinese state banks agreed to provide $12 billion to the project in euros and rubles. "There was a period of uncertainty," Guyot said last month. "And then when China came in, that ended." Novatek's achievement was not just one of political willpower and financial engineering. It was also technical. Putin, officially opening the plant in the harsh climate of northern Siberia in early December, told an audience including Gazprom chief Alexei Miller that several people had come to him with a list of reasons why it couldn't work. "This is certainly a complex project, and we have good people here in this room, good professionals, who warned me at the beginning of this journey, do not do this," he said. Gazprom had previously considered building an LNG plant in the same region but concluded it was too challenging. Other big LNG projects around the world have suffered large budget overruns. "It's the only project I can think of in the last decade that actually is on time and on budget," said Henderson at the Oxford Institute. "It's pretty impressive."